Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Financial Podcast. Today we're tackling a pretty controversial topic, paying off your house early. Most people think it's a great idea, but today we're going to break down why, according to the math, it might actually be a huge mistake.
Oh, definitely. People are often told to get rid of that mortgage as fast as they can. But, as you're going to explain, that's not always the smartest financial move.
Right? So let's dive right into this. Picture this. You have a $500,000 house with a $500,000 mortgage. People assume that paying off that mortgage as quickly as possible will save them money. But here's the truth. The house isn't going to appreciate any faster if you pay it off early. The value of the house is going to fluctuate based on the market, not how much you've paid off.
So no matter how much equity you build, the house itself doesn't change the rate of return?
Exactly. And that's the kicker. You're losing money in two ways, through inflation and opportunity cost. If you put that money into your house, it's locked up. You could have invested it elsewhere, earning a return.
So what you're saying is, paying off the house doesn't increase its value. It's just tying up your cash in an asset that isn't giving you a return?
Exactly. Let's break this down with numbers. If you kept that $500,000 in the bank and invested it at a reasonable 6% return over 30 years, you'd end up with over $3 million. But if you pay off the mortgage, you're just left with a $500,000 house and no flexibility.
Wow, that's a huge difference. So why do people feel compelled to pay off their mortgage early if it's not financially beneficial?
It's the comfort factor. People want to be debt-free, right? But the reality is having a mortgage isn't the worst thing in the world. It's actually a strategic tool if used properly.
But isn't it risky to keep such a large debt, especially in tough times?
Here's where the math really shines. If you have a $500,000 mortgage, but you also have $500,000 in the bank, you're not really in debt the way people think. You have options. You can liquidate the money when needed.
So you're essentially saying that having that mortgage gives you liquidity and flexibility?
Absolutely. And let's say things go wrong. You lose your job or there's an emergency. With a smaller monthly payment and that extra money in the bank, you're better positioned to handle any financial curveballs.
So the argument here isn't that having a mortgage is better per se, but that keeping your money liquid and invested elsewhere is a smarter move?
100%. It's about leverage. The bank benefits from having a long-term mortgage because they can keep earning off your interest payments. Why shouldn't you do the same thing with your investments?
Makes sense. So it's more about being strategic with how you use your money and not rushing to pay off your house to feel secure in the short term?
Exactly. Paying off your house early is like locking up money that could be working harder for you. It's not that you shouldn't pay off your house eventually, but it's about balancing risk and reward.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, but what about people who really just don't want to deal with any debt, no matter the math?
It's a personal choice, and some people are more comfortable with no debt at all. But when you look at the numbers, it's clear that for most people, holding on to a mortgage can be a smarter financial strategy in the long run.
Definitely food for thought. So what would you say is the biggest takeaway from today's discussion?
If everything you thought to be true turned out to not be true, how quickly would you want to know? The key is understanding that paying off your house early might not be the financial victory most people think it is. It's about managing your money wisely, and sometimes that means holding on to your mortgage.
Well, that certainly flips the script on what we've been taught about mortgages. Thanks for breaking it down.
Absolutely. And for everyone listening, just remember, when it comes to mortgages, the math doesn't lie. So think about your options and make sure your decisions align with your long-term financial goals.
Great advice. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll catch you next time here in our channel.